To make your mola, you will need some glue, scissors, and construction paper. Here's an example of a mola, and you're going to see the shape repeated as well as repeating shapes in the background. Here's another example. You're going to decide on an animal to use for your mola. You just saw a bird, here's a turtle. I would say keep your shape simple. Remember that animal is abstract. It's not supposed to be the way it looks in real life. I have already cut out a fish. It's just a very simple fish. Fish are common subjects for molas: turtles, birds, frogs. You could do any animal of your choice or even insect. A butterfly would be great. Now, when we talk about molas, they are fabric that have layers. And so you can see that there's like a green layer, a red, a blue, an orange. We're going to do a couple of repeating shapes. We're going to start with your smallest shape. So I've got my fish here, and I'm going to glue it onto my next color. So remember, dot, dot, not a lot. And so my next color is going to be green. And I'm going to bubble cut this. I'm going to try and keep this the same shape as the fish here, but I'm going to do a bubble cut around it. So now I'll have a red fish, and the next layer or the repeating shape is going to be green. And I'm going to keep this scrap. I'm going to need some of that later for my background. And then let's see, I think I'll do my next layer is going to be yellow. So I'm going to take this and glue it down so I have some room to cut all the way around. I'm going to hang on to my scraps because I can use them when I need to work on some shapes on the inside or on my background. I'm going to put this on some blue paper. So now I'll glue this down. As you layer your paper, you're going to find that glue stick is not going to work as well as the liquid glue. You can use glue stick if that's all you have, but I would recommend using the liquid glue if you have some. So I'm going to really press that down. And for the sake of time here, I have already prepared some shapes that I'm going to put on the inside. So this is just layers of cut paper. And so remember, this animal is abstract. It doesn't have to look the way it would look in real life, but we do want to add some layers of paper so that we're using repetition. We're repeating the colors, and in some cases repeating shapes as well. So here I've got a fin. Oh, I've got some little shapes cut for the to do some of the maybe the fish scales. And I'm going to just put a few of those on here to repeat shapes. And the background. Now, in a lot of molas, you're going to see repeating long oval shapes, but doesn't always have to be long oval shapes. They can be rectangular shapes. They can be triangle shapes. It could be any kind of shape that is repeating. And those shapes are often layered as well. And it will depend on how much paper you have as to how much layering you're going to do. So I've got some repeating shapes on there. I do expect you to make your animal look interesting. And for my background, let's see, I think I'll take some maybe some of these yellow shapes. I'm going to fold my paper over here. So I've got maybe 2 layers, and I'm going to just cut some shapes that I can use to repeat. So I think I'll do some rectangles. And I already have some squares that I'm going to use as well. So I've also already got some of these shapes. And they don't have to make a pattern. I'm just going to put them where I think they can fill in the background. And I'm going to move these around a little bit just to see that I'm filling my spaces. And I can use some of these yellow shapes in between. And it does not have to create an exact pattern. We are just using repetition. So I might have some of my lines go one way, some can go another way. That is going to be up to you. I'm going to continue working on my mola to finish it. I do expect you to finish filling this in too, and I can't wait to see what you come up with. When you're done, please click on the student response where it says add response and use the camera tool to take a photo of your finished mola.